Good evening, welcome along to another week of Let's Talk Trek. Oh, these come round so quick.
Tell me about it.
Every week.
It's like we have to prepare content and everything. So it gives you respect for people that do like a daily TV show, you know?
What, they have production staff and writers and runners and things like that?
Yeah, exactly, you know. You don't see Philip Schofield at home saying, you know, having to sit and think of ideas of things to do, do you? That's why he's got a man that does it.
Watching through the window, so.
Yeah, also, he spends all his time rescuing kittens and doing yoga and stuff, doesn't he, if those adverts are to be believed?
And posting on Instagram. Yeah. Anyway, right, so enough of that. Evening to all. Carl, throw some evenings up on the screens while we natter. So it is Let's Talk Trek, the UK's best and longest running Sunday night Star Trek show. We're not in general in the week, but we are the Sunday night champions.
Indeed.
Yeah, something to aim for. So, how's your week been? What's new?
Somebody filled my daughter with chocolate, and so she's been hyper, and I've barely been able to get her to sleep before tonight.
Did you get an egg?
No. Actually, no, I did. I did get one.
I've got my egg here.
Oh, you've got the fruit and nut.
I have got the fruit and nut egg.
I Kit Kat cookie.
Wow.
Oh, very nice.
I didn't get an egg at all, but I've decided to show my appreciation of Easter. I'm going to watch an episode of The Walking Dead later.
Hey, actually,
mine has also come with...
for the viewer, can anyone name any Easter-related Trek episodes or any reference to Easter at all within Trek? I'm not sure that I think there are any, but happy to be proven wrong.
Can't think of any off the top of my head.
I've got, in my head, I've got a giant rabbit. Or was that the Alice in Wonderland?
Aren't you?
That was the Alice in Wonderland one.
Yeah, it was Alice in Wonderland Rabbit, wasn't it?
Wow, we've got lots of viewers in all this. Cindy, hiya Cindy from Dallas,
Fantastic.
Texas. Fantastic. Christoph's there, Megan, Dan, everyone's here. And Paul's here. So this is probably going to be specifically for our UK viewers. Possibly everyone else has seen it. But if you could raise a hand if you've heard of Blankety Plank and know how to play the game, and we'll get back to you shortly.
Did you say blankety plank?
Blankety Plank.
Okay.
Yeah, Richard, there's a TOS episode called Shore Leave with a Giant Rabbit.
Yes, I think it was an Alice in Wonderland one where they had
Alice
LSD or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably didn't involve vast amounts of Cadbury's chocolate. But
I think that's Paul raising his hand for the blankety blank.
Right,
So not
that's
only-
contestant number one.
see, we have a strict code on this show, which is no eating during the show, because apparently it's unprofessional. So I'm going to have my egg afterwards. My egg has also come with...
Doesn't stop us drinking, does it?
It's also come with many bars of chocolate, which is nice. And as we're just showing things off that we got in the shop today, giant Monster Munch.
Oh, pickled onion.
Look at them! You
Oh, the
love this
pickled onion. Oh,
Is
My
the
mouth
back
is
actually
actually
look, or is it because you're holding it so close to the camera?
No,
it's on my cam show. Wait.
they say giants. It's the size that bags used to be when we were kids, before they all shrank down. Hi from New Jersey. G'day.
Is that where NJ, is that New Jersey?
It is.
Yeah.
Sure it's not Norway.
No, I'm sure it's not Norway.
Norwegians spell Norway with a J, I'm sure they do.
But they don't spell it as NJ, do they?
Oh, well, then they do.
Right, should we talk some Star Trek, because it is a Star Trek show
go
on
on,
Star Trek channel.
Yeah.
You know, we should probably do a bit of Star Trek.
I've got lots of Star Trek things to talk about this week. Are we going to kick off with James's cocktail, though?
Let's start, because if you haven't watched this before and you're joining us for the first time, welcome along. We have a bit of a set thing we do. First one is that James, that you can see down below, give us a wave, James, is
Hello.
much more interesting when he's drunk. So let's do that first.
Now, I'll be honest with you about this. I was hoping to have more prep time for this evening's cocktail, but I haven't, so I'm going to be winging it. And therefore, this evening, we're going to be having a Metabilis 3 gin and tonic.
And
for
which
your
Star
Metabilis-
Trek episode will we be watching whilst drinking this aperitif?
For reasons which will become clear, the episode that you should have is an original series one, and I'll need a viewer to assist me with the name of it, but it is where they find the whole crew of another Constitution class ship. It's not the Exeter, I can't think which one it is, but they've all been turned into crystals. So you've got all the uniforms lying around and just lots of sort of dusty crystals that are there. So that's the episode. Someone can give me the name of it. Now, you will need 4 ingredients for your Metabilis 3 gin and tonic. The first thing is, of course, your gin. Now, as everyone will know, the man trap? No, I don't think so. No,
that was the one with the salt vampire.
The finest gin is this, the Anno gin, made in Kent. But I'm not going to waste that on a cocktail, particularly bearing in mind what I'm about to do. So I'm just going to use Tanqueray. We'll have
Gin of bartenders.
1 measure of Tanqueray.
Don't forget, if you enjoy the show every week, you can support us to help James buy bandwidth. The details for that
The
on
broadband connection
Yes.
is down to present Mrs. Dillon.
James is not he's not been smoking pot, ladies and gentlemen. This is just his internet connection.
The next thing you will need, tonic. 1 pre-measure there in a can. Let's pop that into my cocktail glass here.
Yeah, people will give $1 million for a Star Trek documentary. They should be able to come donate $30 a month for James to have internet.
You heard it here first, folks. I've got a cocktail mixer, but only because I've used it to store my Starfleet ice in. We all know our lovely Starfleet ice. There it is. Let's pop one
Beautiful.
of those in there.
Oh, this isn't Star Trek button ice. I'm disappointed.
Very difficult to keep a hold of Starfleet ice. Or wherever that
That's longer than 3
Pick it up
seconds,
in a-
James.
Right.
Can't go in the glass.
We apologise for the technical difficulties tonight, boys and girls.
Here it is so far. Your next ingredient is crystals from Metabilis 3. Now, there's been no rehearsal for this.
So tentative.
Oh, go on. Just whack it in there.
Go on. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh. Now let's have it.
I think it needs more.
I think it needs
You hear it?
several more
Need
crystals.
more.
Yeah, it needs more,
crystals.
James.
Yeah.
More
Plenty
crystals.
more.
Oh,
Keep going.
No,
Don't be shy.
we can't see it. Hold on, there we go.
oh. Listen away. There you go. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Man alive.
Is that one for the book, James?
Certainly one for my book.
You heard it here, boys and girls. It's one for James's book. Oh, yes.
Marvellous.
That's a lovely photograph you've got of me there. You've been on my LinkedIn profile, haven't you?
We have been stealing pictures from your LinkedIn profile, yes.
Oh, I hate LinkedIn.
People now know
the last time I looked at it. Oh, here we go.
people now know to go and find you on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, I actually just dunked the microphone in the cocktail. That was clever. Well, do let me know if my microphone fails.
Sorry.
Don't
Very
forget,
fun.
you can donate towards James's new microphone fund as well.
There you are. There you have it. The Metabilis 3 gin and tonic. Ooh, look at that.
How big is it? Or is it just a big packet? It's just a big packet, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Oh,
I don't know.
It's like pulling
Well, if
down
it's
some
giant,
underwear and
it's
finding a
gonna
rolled
be
up sock.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
all-
normal.
That's
no,
normal size, just a big packet of normal size ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a little disappointing.
I feel cheap.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you've done your cocktail because I was thinking today.
Mega glory. This episode.
Thanks, Nadine.
Anyway, so we have some conflicting opinions on the show sometimes as to what makes a good Star Trek episode or even a film, and even a Star Trek series. So I wondered, if you were going to have, because back in the day with TOS, you had 3 possible plot lines. There's something wrong with the ship, something wrong with the planet, or I can't remember what the other one is now. But the point is, I want you to think about what ingredients go into your perfect Star Trek episode or film. What 3 things does it have to have? Gin, well, yes, okay. But what 3 things, if you think about your favourite episodes, I bet you can probably take apart 3 common factors in those episodes that make a good episode or film for you.
Marina Sirtis in the series 1 uniform.
Intergalactic cheerleader, yes.
Wow, that's still going.
Yeah, so tell us what you think makes a good one.
Shirts being torn off. We do that on this show as well. You need to stay to the end, Dan. At the end, we all just rip our shirts off. And, yeah.
I'll tell you what else we do on this show. On this show, we have several award-winning, or soon to be award-winning features when eventually we get nominated for an award. One of those is Collectible Corner, which is where you can submit a collectible for Carl to review.
Well,
Like that.
I'm not sure this evening's will be award-winning, but with it being Easter, and you go. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
With it being Easter, all right, everyone's used to fluffy bunnies and stuff, but you do also get other fluffy toys for Easter. And so I've gone for a fluffy toy that's completely non-Easter related, but it is related little fluffy toy. Look at that. It's a Mr. Spock bear.
Oh, right. I just thought it was an angry teddy bear.
It is a very angry teddy bear. But it is pointed-eared. Yes, it is a Mr. Spock teddy bear.
Did you steal that off your young child?
Not at all, no. My young child has the Captain Kirk version of this bear, which, coincidentally, happens to be here. This is the one I stole off my young child.
I was going to say, I know your small child has one of these because I bought it for him.
Yeah, just be careful the Kirk one doesn't rip that shirt off.
Yes.
We don't want Anne-Marie getting too excited.
He is under strict instructions not to do that while the show is on.
He looks a lot happier than the Spock one, doesn't he?
He does look a lot happier than the Spock one.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, these were originally released as a set of 5 in 2011. And believe it or not, they were actually released for, you remember, the grabber machines in arcades? That's what they were originally released for going in those grabber machines.
Why does the green one look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
I like the Klingon one. He looks like a Mexican drug dealer.
Yeah. Hey, gringo, he's a sweater.
He's a sweater.
So, yeah, these were released as grabber machine toy wins back in 2011 by a company called The Toy Factory. They're actually really quite cute just to have sat around, and they're great for any kids sort of thing. Like I've got my 2-year-old son, he loves his Captain Kirk bear. Great way to start them off young with liking the old Trek fandom. And you know what? They're not expensive. They're about the more common ones tend to go for about 1,000 pence, but they can go up to about 3,000 pence. So, but yeah, a full collection of all 5 bears, probably worth in excess of 10,000 pence.
Wow.
Let's so 2011. You can still get hold of them then, yeah?
You can still get hold of them. Usually they come up on eBay, or occasionally they come up on Zavvi, things like that as well.
I wonder if I ordered one tonight, ready for next week's show, Will I receive it before you receive episode 1 and 2 of Build the Model Enterprise D?
Well, the answer to that being no, because they're over there on the corner of my desk, ready. They've finally arrived.
No. Spoiler feature. You've moved your chair.
Yes, I've extended my desk so that I can work on multiple projects at once.
You can tell I'm not allowed around anymore. There's nowhere for me to sit.
No, there is. It's over there.
All right, I get the corner. Fine. Right, okay. Anyway, enough of us whinging. Right, thank you very much for your collectible, Carl. It is, yes, a fascinating bear. Right, what are people saying in the comments? Richard, you've been reading the comments.
Indeed.
What has been said?
Well, we got Megan Reynolds says cute. I think she was referring to the teddy bear. I'm afraid, Carl, not your good self.
Probably meant Carl's son.
There's some plushies you can get, which I know what a plushie is. They're not as cuddly as a teddy bear, but they're easier to sort of place and they sit nicely. I think they're full of beans as opposed to fluff. Is the difference with a plushie and a teddy bear.
Carl has some.
No, I've got one of the Build-A-Bear 50th anniversaries.
I thought you had one of the Captain Kirks. Or Picard.
Yes, I have. You're right. Yes, I've got a Kirk, and I think I've even got the Spock and the Scotty as well.
Christoph has said that a good episode needs humour, tech, suspense, but nothing artificial.
What, like Mr. Data?
Guess so. Christoph doesn't like Data. Yes, there are some Javi, Kirk, and Spock ones.
Javi, by the way, having a brilliant sale of Star Trek stuff at the moment.
Yes, Javi having a massive sale. Sadly, I've never had a good experience with Javi myself, so I don't tend to buy from them, but they're having all the stuff on at the moment.
Well, Zavi is the Hut Group, which, if you remember, it used to be Virgin Megastores.
That would explain it.
The convent near me.
Yes. Right, let's moving on. But Collectible Corner, that's done. Thank you very much for that, Carl. Right, so swiftly going on. Wogan microphones at the ready. James.
So, good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of Stampity Stamp. Our first round, before we go to our contestants, is to do this stamp reveal. Do we have a digitized picture of a stamp?
We do. Somewhere.
Before we do, I think we're going to have to see. I mean, for our viewers, here we are.
Ooh. So who do you think this is?
I think I got this one licked.
So let's see him in the comments. Who do we think this is?
Oh, I think I know who this is.
I'm going for... it's got to be a stamp. I'm going for Keating.
Oh.
Bear in mind, we do have the extended set of all the stamps in, so it's practically every character.
I'm going to
go on, Megan. What's your ideas?
I reckon that's a Discovery uniform in there.
Spock.
We've got Christoph saying Spock.
Lorca. Oh, could be Lorca. Could be Lorca.
If you look really closely and pull your eyes away, does it not look like Julian Bashir?
It's like one of those, those magic eye pictures you stare at and then it all comes into view, but it's not working. I want to change my answer to Lorca because Nadim got it right last week and I changed my answer to go with him and I was right.
Megan says her other idea was Burnham, but she's going to go with Lorca as well.
Megan, there's not enough tears coming out of the picture to be Burnham.
No, it's not watered down this one enough.
Sinequa Martin Green is never doing an interview with us now.
I asked her a question once, and Jason Isaacs answered it because she had no idea what I was on about. Do you remember that Netflix thing we went to?
Yeah.
And asked her about her fighting skills and how she just went martial arts, and she just looked blankly, and then Jason Isaacs just took over and spoke for her because she basically may as well have been a cardboard cutout.
Katie Kitchell Carlson has said Worf.
Worf.
Blue in there for Worf.
Right then, James, move this feature along. Come on.
All right, so we'll come back to the stamp, shall we, and we'll review that at the end. So have we got our two contestants for this evening's episode of Blankety Blank?
Paul Simons and Megan.
Right, okay, so if you could both, Paul and Megan, place in the comments, what's your name and where do you come from? Meanwhile, as they're doing that, let's go over to our celebrity panel. So you'll be playing this evening on tonight's episode of Blankety Blank with, let's start with Daniel. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Hello.
How are things in the north?
Good.
Fantastic.
Great.
Let's go to Carl. Carl, how are you?
Yes, not too bad. I'm looking forward to our first proper round of stampity stamp blanky thingy.
And Richard, how are you down in the south?
I'm absolutely marvellous down in the south. It was a very sunny day today. And I've got a black marker pen. I'm going to have to write my answers in pink.
Okay, so for those who aren't familiar with the format of Blankety Blank, I'm going to read a question, phrase, or statement out, which our contestants will each fill in the blank or blankety blanks, and then we'll go over to the panel to see if they match with what the panel have written down, and we'll go to them one at a time. So we'll start we'll go with Paul, I think. Paul, here comes your question. Get ready to write down your answer. And your question is this. Commander Riker had to sit down in a special way on TNG because he had blank. So we'll have 10 seconds of random discussion and banter while we write down your answers. Blankety blank, blankety blank, boom, boom, blankety blank, blankety blank. Paul, do you have an answer for us? This is just for Paul at this occasion. Come on, Paul, put it in the comments if you have an answer.
What's your answer, Paul? Let's see if great minds
we need
think
to know.
alike.
Then we'll go round our panel.
Boys, we need to hold our hands up, I think, just to show that this is fair.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We've got an answer. Paul has said piles. So,
Keep your hands up, Dan.
Riker had to sit down in a special way on TNG because he had piles. Let's go to the panel. Dan, what did you write?
I wrote.
Alien.
No, that's not a match. Not a match. Let's go to Carl.
I had. Well, I didn't, but I presumed that Riker had.
Hey, that's a point for Paul. Well done.
Oh,
One match out of three. Let's go to Richard.
hey!
2 out of 3. Fantastic. Okay, so that's the score.
That puts Paul on. Yeah, let's keep scores. That puts
2
Paul on.
points for Paul. Right, let's go over to Megan. Megan, are you there? Are you ready? Let us know. Here comes your question. So just as before, Chakotay has been on so many vision quests, he has worn out his blank. So I'll give you 10 seconds to come up with your answer there and put it in the comments while the panel obviously is scratching their heads about that. Chakotay has been on so many vision quests, he has worn out his blank. Okay, Megan, have you got an answer for us? Let's have it in the comments.
This is where our terrible spelling without a spell checker is going to come to light, isn't it?
Or writing.
Right, hands up.
Right, come on, Megan, where's your answer? We need it.
There it is. There it is. I'll click it up and then I'll return my hands. There we are.
Oh, right. She's gone for medicine bundle. Right. Daniel, what do you have?
Medicine bundle.
Hey!
Right. Let's go to Carl. Bing! 2 out of 3 so far. Carl. Richard, sorry. Whoa! 3 out of 3. So that means that, Megan, you move forward. You've won the first round. You move forward to the super match game.
Super match game. Super match game. Super match game.
Super match game. Right. So, Megan, as you match with all 3 of our panel, you can again. You will be playing with all 3 of them. Here comes your super match challenge. So basically, this is a phrase or saying. You will, basically, as before, you'll write your answer down. Paul, well played. And we have, for the particular super match legend for this evening. 3 answers. One is worth 50 blanks. The second is worth 100 blanks. And the first, or third, if you will, is the 150 blank answer. So let's see if you match with our panel. Here comes the legend. Star blank. Here you go, boys. I should say that matching with the panel is actually just for fun. It's what I've got on my card that counts. But we'll see what they've come up with. So let's go. Dan, what did you come up first? Star Lord?
Show!
Okay. Carl?
Well, I'm afraid I went for the bleeding obvious.
Trek? Okay, excellent. And Richard?
No.
It has to happen. Right, so Megan, you can choose, if you like, you can choose one of their answers if you really want to, or you can give me your own. And depending on what happens, I'll tell you what fabulous prize you may have won. So let's have a look. What's your answer?
Are you sure you wouldn't?
All right, okay, well, let's reveal the scores. For 50 blanks, the answer was Star Wars. For 100 blanks, and bear in mind, if we do this again, I'll make some sort of graphic thing up, so I'm not actually just talking to them.
Already can't wait for next week.
Fleet. And for 150 blanks, the answer was Star Trek, bearing in mind the show you're watching. So I'm afraid I can't let you have that. So you go away broken-hearted. No prize for you this evening. To play again. Wow. Thank you for playing Blankety Blank.
Well played, Megan. Well played, Paul. Well played, everyone. Thank you. That's marvelous.
Right, time to move on. Thank you. Oh no, we can't move on. We've got to go for this. Oh yes.
Was it Lorca?
We need to do the stamp reveal.
Right.
Final guess this time.
So I think the most successful answer people were going with was they think it's Lorca. So let's have a look. Are you correct? Yes!
Hey!
Yes, well done.
Everyone else is
a prize for that.
Do you get a prize for that? No.
That's Nadim 2 for 2. He's straight in there.
Yeah, she's doing well on this, Nadim.
Moving on.
It's a fake.
Right. There's no slide this week. It's just the very good news that James and I had an executive Rikers Beard meeting the other day, and we've decided that in the summer, the annual Rikers Beard wet T-shirt competition will be going ahead. Please email your preliminary entries in.
Oh. Wonderful. Right, moving on. Time for real news. Okay, so let's do it. Right, here we go. This is the real news. That, first of all, is Star Trek The Into the Journey, the documentary thing that's been crowdfunding, is the most successful crowdfunded documentary of all time. It's surpassed $1 million. It's done 10 stretch targets. It's humongous. It's a monster, and I'm so looking
forward to it. Just for a comparison, how much did DS9 get in total for their documentary?
Less than $1 million.
Right.
I think the DS9 one off the top of my head got somewhere around the 350 mark, maybe 4.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is absolutely blown it out of the water then. Yeah.
Apparently there's going to be something never seen on Voyager, was the 10th stretch goal. So,
sorry, the one thing that was never seen
on Voyager. A map, I imagine. A sat-nav that worked. Megan tells us it's $1.2 million.
An explanation for what the Maquis are doing on board.
An explanation as to how they made so many torpedoes and shuttlecrafts.
I think this is absolutely... If anything else, I mean, we all love Voyager, yes, there's some ropey episodes, but Voyager's fantastic. This shows you how much there is for a market for a proper HD re-release of Voyager to be made. I think it really does. You know,
You say that. The picture we've chosen, we could have chosen a HD picture of Kate Mulgrew, but we obviously didn't.
Is that Kate Mulgrew?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
Who did you think it was?
Well, I wasn't sure. I thought it was someone who was doing the fundraising. I don't know.
Awkward.
Yes,
Right, moving on. Next article is this one. Right, this is a new Star Trek game that's hit the Apple Arcade Store today. You can download it if you have an Apple device. So that's an iPad, an iPhone, or an iMac, or a MacBook.
I have a
Apple based, essentially,
Mac.
you can download this. And I thought we'd have a quick look at the official trailer for it. So here we go. Let me press the button.
Or was it just me loving that retro Cardassian helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. Available to download from the Apple Arcade Store today. Has the other game we mentioned before been released yet? Apparently, yes, it has. Lorna Bergen says that there was $647,000 for the DS9 one.
Really? I didn't think it was that much.
So, yeah.
James, have you been out robbing trains again?
You seem to have robbed my uniform from last week. He looks like a Mexican scouser.
Hey!
Hey, mate! You want to buy some tequila?
Calm
I love the fact that Richard's doing it with the Wogan microphone.
Yeah.
Completely the wrong accent for a Rogan mic.
Oh, dear.
Right, moving on. Here we go. Next article. Boom. Oh, Richard!
Right, marvelous. Okay, so this is the wonderful news that William Shatner is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Has been.
So he first appeared on Raw back in the early 90s, I think it was, and he had a confrontation with Jerry the King Lawler, and used a little bit of Kirk fu on him. He used the back roll throw. And then later on, he came back to Raw as a guest manager and did some music, did some spoken word music with the wrestlers' entrance fees. And he was wonderful on Raw. He's a very spontaneous and charismatic personality in person. If you've ever seen him live on stage at conventions and stuff, you know just how good he is. He can work a room well, and he works a mic well, which is why he was very good for WWE. And it reminded me there's quite a few WWE and Trek connections. For bonus points, can you give me two other wrestlers that have appeared in Star Trek?
The Rock.
Dwayne
Yeah, The
Johnson.
Rock. He was in the Voyager episode, yeah. And a very large gentleman called The Big Show. He was in an episode of Enterprise as an Andorian, as a Orion slaver. But yeah, this is fantastic news. I'm still puzzled why someone who's not a wrestler gets inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame, but they seem to do it with personalities who've been on as well. So this is lovely news.
We do have some VT as well, if you wish, Richard.
Oh yes, do you want me to do a commentary on it as we go through?
If it'll let us, because it's got audio. Let's have a look.
Yep.
Do what I say, you listen when I speak, and that's all we need out of you. You understand? Tell the people the truth about.
So yeah, this is Jerry the King Lawler on the right.
Now listen, this may be the home of the Whopper, but don't touch me. When you hit me, you're in trouble. You don't touch this.
This is Shatner's obviously not keen on being touched,
I will touch you, Big Shot, because you see-
but the King wants to touch him.
Hey, the King's not one of
Is it the Burger King? It looks like the Burger King.
It is. It's the Burger King. Fun fact: he went on to have a heart attack live on air, so he probably had too many Whoppers.
The jewels on his top look like they were made from James's ice cube mold.
And if you're not careful, I will boldly send you where no man's ever been.
How dare he put his hands on His Royal Highness?
Wait a minute. What's this now?
Oh, it's marvellous. Classic Kirk. And here we have the Hitman coming in just to hold his hand up. There we are.
There we go. That's the end of that VT. So yeah.
Any idea when that happened? I was early 90s, I'm fairly certain. It was 1991, 1992, somewhere around there. Or late 80s, possibly. It's still WWF, so before they got sued.
Don't forget, if you do wish to learn some Kirk Fu, you can buy the Kirk Fu manual, which is available from all good bookstores and Amazon if you don't have a good bookstore. Right, so let's move on with some more news. Now, this one's one that might be interesting to the rest of the guys. Who is this gentleman?
That's John Eves. He's the chap who designed the Sovereign Class Enterprise E, and he's been nominated. Well, he's in fact receiving an award. I forget which one it is.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, yes, indeed.
It is a Lifetime Achievement. Oh, look, James, isn't that a lovely book?
It's a lovely book. I was given this for Christmas one year, and I put it on his Facebook wall saying, "Guess what I've just got?" And he replied. I was very pleased.
If you want to know what's inside that book, things like this.
Well, Johnny's designed the board cube, did he?
No, I don't think he was involved in the
Insurrection.
original.
He did apparently, or First Contact. First Contact. Which is why it's got the
Yeah, the jettison.
the circular port. Yes.
various weaponry,
Oh, I like that batleth.
and there's him sitting at his desk designing stuff for Insurrection.
So that's the captain's yacht behind him on the wall there. Isn't it?
There's a man who's got a fun job.
And
Isn't
here is the very thing.
Yes.
Very nice.
It is. Wouldn't that be an amazing job to have?
Incredible job.
Right, next up on Real News
Love to get
is...
John was on our show one evening.
Does anyone know what this is? Next Real News item.
Is this some more Cardassian headwear?
It is not. This is...
some crap from Wish.
No, this is a prototype of something that's being tested in America at the moment. And it is a mind-operated computer, but an actual proper one, not one that just can move a mouse or anything. This is going to be able to do actual computing using the power of your mind. It's a wireless mind computer, so it doesn't need any wires. It's all through the wireless adapter at the top. Now, you might be thinking, what is this to do with Star Trek? Well, TNG...
Generations, it's not very stylish, is it?
TNG predicted this, you remember, with the wireless mind computer, with Lieutenant Barclay.
That's tenuous, isn't it? That. Did you think, is that tenuous enough for the show or not? Oh, yes, it's tenuous enough.
I also never realised until I'd seen this picture the intricate diamond stitching on Barclay's chair, because obviously, when you're in an emergency rush to tell a computer how to build something, you say, well, can I have some nice diamond stitching on my chair as well?
Yeah. Well, do you remember the episode where they go into the holodeck and say, "Oh, show me a table," and it shows them all sorts of random stuff? And you go, "Well, that I mean, if someone said to me, draw a table," that's exactly the first thing my mind would have run to. It's an enormous metal slab thing.
Yeah. It's what's the episode? It's the one with Reaver, isn't it? There should be two things here and two things, but he doesn't say it. Obviously, he just points because he doesn't speak. He has his choir or chorus.
He had his chorus.
Yes. No, he didn't. Christoph says the Nth Degree is one of his TNG favourites.
Superb episode.
Yes. classic
Chatler's
Trek.
WWE fight was January 9th, 95. Cool. Right, moving on. So that's real news. Big thing, if you haven't already got it, and me and James have held up copies of it, the John Eves book is well worth a buy. I got this off Carl. It's been looked through several times.
Let's Talk Trek, thumbs up.
There is a section in it about Star Trek First Contact. So
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's lovely. Some books are lovely to read. Some are just lovely to have. And that's just wonderful to have.
First Contact was my first full-time gig with the art department, he says. And they did everything from the escape pod, Jetsons and stuff like that. The man single-handedly sort of decided how Star Trek was going to look. So,
And it was a massive leap forward from the designs we'd seen in TNG to make that jump forward and to make it look like it belonged. Not that I really want to slag off Discovery again, but their interpretations of what future ships look like don't look like Star Trek. Everyone's accepted John Eves' stuff as being Star Trek. It didn't look like anything else, but it was different
without alienating it.
right, let's move on. Thank you very much for real news, people. It is now time for What in Sam Hill.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for bringing me back to the feature, What in Sam Hill, where I've been on the internet looking for what dross I can dredge up from the depths of it this week. In fact, I think this was it might have been Doug Drexler who posted this particular clip and reminded me of it, but it's from the staple of shockingly bad Star Trek cast cameos. And this is from a mid-90s sitcom called Sybil, which starred Sybil Shepherd as its main character. And I've got two clips. Carl, could you roll clip number 1, please? Roll VT.
Ironic, isn't it? I've traveled halfway across the galaxy to find my one true love, just to lose her.
But why? Why must you leave?
We both know it would never work.
It's my parents, isn't it?
No.
Was I too clingy?
No.
It's the cold-blooded thing.
Don't torture yourself. It's not you. Our planets are warring. Millions on both sides are dying.
Remember me.
Always.
Nice work, everybody. That's a wrap.
Thank God.
Sybil, wonderful.
Thanks. I do my best, even though I am working for scale. Get it? Scale? No, okay, not funny.
Do you have plans for dinner?
Dinner? Well, thanks for asking, but I'm a little tired. I think I'll just go home and molt.
You know, I'm the guest of honor at a Star Trek convention this weekend. Anaheim. Fancy hotel, big suite, honor bar. Maybe you'd like to beam down there with me.
Beam down there with you? That's really cute. I don't think so.
Come on, babe, lower your shields. Let me in.
You're serious.
We could boldly go where no one has gone before.
Jonathan, snap out of it. You're not a Starfleet commander, you're an actor. If you want to ask me out, just ask me out in plain, simple English.
Do you want to go out?
Sorry, I don't date actors.
Well, you've got some classic freaks there, riffing on the promiscuous nature of Riker. I enjoyed it. Let's have the second part of the clip.
God, you know he's been asking me out. Somebody even told me he's married.
So what? I'd jump his bones in a minute.
What? What happened to your vow of chastity?
Heather, this is the number 2 guy on the Enterprise. If the bald guy dies, he's the boss.
Then I went for that door. Shh.
Nobody's home. Let's try Candace Bergen's house.
Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Notice in the first part of the clip, is it just me or did his uniform look very similar to the one in the Orville?
I was thinking Orville. I was also thinking, what's wrong with her? Because he looked gorgeous. I mean, so obviously fictional. It was very unbelievable, to be honest with you. Who could say no?
She doesn't date actors. That's what she said in the clip.
Now, we must also address the complete inaccuracies of the wrong type of communicator for TNG era and a red transporter beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to exclude this from canon, aren't we?
Yeah, it's not going to be canon. I did like her version of the second clip. Her version of the TNG Enterprise worn as a 90s actual proper garment. It did look like someone just ripped open a TNG jacket and made the collar bigger. That was quite cool.
Can I just mention, by the way, that my moustache is from SETI Alpha 5, and you might notice it's climbing up this side of my face.
It's listing. Yes.
And, I don't understand quite why it's doing this, but you know, it's very skew-whiff. It must be the gym.
Alan Window's going to use some of those lines. Well,
lower your shield. Let me in. Yeah.
There's only one line more successful than that, Alan, and that is, "Oh, go on, I'll be quick."
Right, so did you see the thing this week about deep fake technology?
Yes.
Which bit did you see?
I saw the Tom Paris faked as Tom Paris in TNG.
Yeah,
and that just looked a bit weird.
Yes, exactly. Maybe you think you were saying about Star Trek people in things, how certain characters, and we were talking about this today, certain actors play a multitude of characters. When you've got certain actors that don't. So, for instance, Jonathan Frakes not only played William Riker, he played Thomas Riker. Nick Locarno and Tom Paris, for instance, were the same actor.
What?
Yes. Really? Jeffrey Combs is everybody. And then you've got the guy that plays Benjamin Sisko also plays Benjamin Sisko, the crazy insane Benjamin Sisko, which is the same person. Yeah, so many of these. If you know of any more, let us know. We'd love to know any more actors that have been like that. Right, what's going on in the comments, boys?
Well, we've got on that Tom Paris subject, we have Katie saying Tom Paris was on TNG, just had to change his name after the whole Starburst incident.
Yes.
Possibly. It's a good theory. I like it.
Right. Dan thought James was talking about the TNG episode. Right. Schisms is, without a doubt, one of the most scary Star Trek episodes of all time.
Yes.
There's not many more that are as messed up as Schisms.
Yeah, it's one of those where you think the aliens are abducting people to experiment on them, and they choose to abduct people who are on the most heavily fortified starship in the fleet, on the flagship. It's like in heist films when safecrackers always attack the door of the safe. They never just drill through the brick wall next to it. Well, actually, the door's the strongest part. I don't know. It's just how it rolls.
I think Voyager had the monopoly on the most ones that tried to be scary. They had some good ones, but for me, possibly because of the age when I watched it, the scariest one I can remember watching was actually TNG One Frame of Mind, because I was watching that going, what's going on? It was actually quite scary.
Also, were Rikers doing the play?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because when I was watching it, I enjoyed the episode. It was really good acting and a really good story. But most of the time, TNG episodes normally you've got the story wrapped up in about the first 20 minutes, and then you're just enjoying it. But Frame of Mind, literally, you just didn't know what was going on. Like, is this the real bit? Is this the real bit? Is this? It really, the age I was, I really enjoyed it.
I mean, what other good dark episodes are there? Empok Nor, that's a really good episode. When Garrick starts to, just go mental. Batshit.
The TNG episode where they all devolve and Picard and Data fly back and the Enterprise abandoned and darkly lit.
Yeah.
Marina Sirtis turns into a fish.
Yes. For every episode that was actually dark, and there was always episodes that tried to be and failed miserably. This is meant to be horrible and terrifying. It's like, no, it's not. Armus.
A regular guest on our show, of course.
Yes, I think we're going to try and bring him back for our anniversary special. We'll do our best anyway.
Actually, if we're talking freaky episodes, the one with Nagilum.
Oh, yes.
Where
we
Worf
haven't
goes through.
guest yet, but we're going to.
Yes. A ship only has one bridge. Anyway. Right. I mean, that's the end of actual planned features and things for tonight. So, is there anything else to talk about before
the video for First Contact Day that I forwarded through? Did you download that one?
No.
One, sorry?
It was in our private chat. I sent you a link to a video that someone in the costume group had done for First Contact Day. I thought it was quite a good one. First Contact Day is
You did send a video, yes. I saw you'd sent one. I couldn't listen to the audio because I was cycling at the time, but there was a young lady in there that looked like she'd had her implants ripped out.
I will be able to find it, though.
Yeah, scroll back through. Yeah, so tomorrow is the 5th of April, which is First Contact Day. That's meant to be 2063, I believe. So where are we? 2021. So 42 years to go, everybody.
Don't we have to have World War III in the middle of that?
Yeah, only one world war that we have between us and that.
I believe there's also...
So can we just do some quick mathematics here? So when's First Contact Day?
2063.
So I'm 41 now. So how old will I be?
Then.
Sorry, how old?
You'll be 83 then.
Well, I'm game for it. If you guys are all game for it, let's go to... The site is in Canada? Yeah, in Montana. Let's go to Montana and let's do it.
I think if I put the holiday request in now, it should just be enough time to be approved.
Yeah. How's this moustache going? How's it?
Right, I have the video for you, so bear with me just a moment. Okay, here we go. Hopefully the audio comes with it.
Computer log.
Maybe the audio won't come with it.
It is.
I can hear it.
Wolf is taking the Enterprise. Most of the crew are gone. The simulator or dead, I don't know. And Lynch, Lieutenant Hawk, untold names of other people we got. But we need to hold the line. We need to make sure First Contact happens. All I ask is, please, call First Contact.
Oh dear.
I couldn't hear it, but it looked very good.
Well, that just caught my attention earlier today. That's a young lady who, I think her name is Stephanie Elise, is that right? She has her own cosplay page, does a lot of stuff, and said she'd made that particular uniform out of scraps that she had available, but I thought it was fun that she'd done that little video.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Good effort, that girl.
So, let me see.
Cosplay and Props is where that clip first appeared.
So, World War III is yet to come before First Contact Day. We've got to say that. Isn't there something else, apparently, that Q says has to happen?
Guess I'm taking that trip on my own then, James.
Yeah.
Time to retrain, James.
Well, of course, it wasn't Q who originally said that, was it?
By then, James, you won't be a lawyer. Our band would have kicked off.
Isn't it from...
survived Shakespearean law, so yeah.
What was the play? Henry the Fifth? Henry VI? Henry VI?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, yeah. Right, that's more or less it for this week. We did a watch-along as well. We're going to quickly talk about this. We watched along with Star Trek 5. We really enjoyed it. We did say we're going to do another one this week of...
City on the Edge of Forever.
On Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. We do have a guest appearance for this one as well. Neil Carpenter is going to come on and be our chatter-along buddy. Join us next week when we'll be talking more stuff. We're also going to be having a very special guest the next couple of weeks, Liam Dillon. He's joining us to discuss uniforms and models. We're going to just
and rules.
All that's coming up. So we're looking forward to that. So yes, we should have him on in a couple of weeks' time. If there is something you want us to talk about and natter about, or just generally get off your chest, do feel free to drop us an email. It is carl@trekkiesguide.com, and Carl will respond to your email as quickly as he can.
That's also where you should send the wet T-shirt competition entries.
Yes.
I better go and do that right now.
I'm going to do mine later.
Can't wait.
I'm going to go and eat my Easter egg. Or maybe my crisps that I have now opened. I don't know. One or the other.
Oh, a guide to DS destinations. That's a good idea. We
Not
could do
about
that as a
Cheltenham.
weekly feature. A tip to getting by at DST each week. That's maybe we could take it in turns, like Carl's
There's
tip.
one main tip, isn't there? Find us in the bar.
Find us a bar. Yes, that's a good tip. Preferably,
However much money you think you need to take, quadruple it.
Well, my tip will actually be.
What you're going for.
But I don't think you have to spend as much money to have as good time as you may think. But I'm not going to divulge now. I'll save it for my tip next week.
Wonderful. So we're going
to way to yours, Christoph. By the sound of it,
are we judging this wet t-shirt competition from your hot tub?
Yes. You guys don't know this yet, but on our anniversary, by then lockdown would have lifted, so you guys can come down and stay. We'll do the whole show from the hot tub in t-shirts.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Can I bring my microphone?
Please do.
I still think that's a burnt marshmallow on the end of a stick.
It is just a paint roller on the end of a stick. But hey, Terry Wogan's microphone was a car aerial. It's never clear why he had to have this ridiculous stick microphone. It was just part of Blankety Blank, and everything about Blankety Blank was funny. Everything.
The checkbook and pen.
Megan didn't win a checkbook and pen this week, did she?
No, she didn't
have a Blankety Blank. Look, here goes the moustache.
Megan, you've won a paying in book and pen. If you take it to a bank and give it to them with money, it'll go into my account. It's a unique gift. It's like the opposite of a checkbook.
Well, no, not quite. No, because a checkbook you give money away, don't you?
Yes, I said exactly the opposite.
Your account, it's the same thing.
Right, should we go? We've been nattering for an hour now.
All right then.
Don't forget this week, watch along Wednesday night, 9:00. Something will be on Facebook for it. City on the Edge of Forever. It's on Netflix, so you don't have to spend anything to go and watch that one. That one's free. Trekkie Girls Friday night, live with David and Will on Saturday, I believe. And then us on a Sunday. There's your week planned out for you. Be good, be safe. See you next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Mr. Fish is waving.